Egbo m na-ege ntị, anyị ekene unu ọzọ n'ụbọchị uhuruchi nke taata. Anyị si unu ka ụbọchị nke taa dịrị na anyị na mma. Anyị sikwa unu nke onye chikwara ya zelu. Ndị be anyị siri unu ndụ mmiri ndụ azụ, ma mmiri atara ma azụ emene gịnị ma azụ anwụrụ. Ka ọ dịrị na anyị na mma. A dịrị maazị Nnamdi Kanu na mma, a dịrị maazị Simon Ekpa na mma. A sịrị adịrị ndị ọbụla na-ekwu okwu maka ka ala Igbo ga-esi dị na mma, ka a ga-esi ewe ọdịm n'elu. Anyị sị na Chukwu ka abịa maka n'elu nche niile. Otu anyị kwukwara ya, otu akwa ya adị. Ise ise ise. Unu n'anya n'iru akwụkwọ faiwetelu n'iru akwụkwọ bụ Major Prophet Ndubuisi ewetelu unu ya were nnukwu ihe dị oke mkpa o kwuru ọgwa na ndị Igbo. O kwuru okwu gbasara maka maazị Nnamdi Kanu. Ọ gasị ihe riri nne orika ife o kwuru erika, mana anyị sị na somama nge na anyị ga-etinyekwere unu ya ka unu ga ya bụ ife, ka unu nụkwa ya n'ọnụ, ka unu mara ife unu were igwe anyị gbasara maka ya bụ ife ndị a niile okwu n'ebe akwụkwọ. Oge ugbu anyị eje gbapụ ya ọsọ igosi unu ya bụ ife, ị ga-esi ya ịdrọpụrụ anyị your own comment ife iche gbasara maka ihe ndị a niile okwu n'ebe akwụkwọ. Alright, over to you, sir.
Information for every one of you listening to my voice right now from where you are all over the world. Biafrans, Oduduwas, and all the lovers of freedom all over the world who are listening to me right now, I want you to pay very good attention to this very news, because it's very, very important. I can assure you, my people, I don't want to talk too much. In fact, there may be no analysis towards this very latest development, but I have only two reasons that pushed me to make this very broadcast that I'm making right now, and I will give you those two reasons at the very end of this very news. So if you want to hear the reasons, I will appreciate you to stay tuned till the very end of the news. I will not take your time. Rather, let me go straight and read the news in detail. So the lovers of Sunday Igboho who are listening to me right now, I want you to pay attention. I did not come here to insult Sunday Igboho. Like as I said before, I have only two most important reasons why I'm recording this very news. And I am very, very certain you will not like to miss the reasons for this very broadcast. So without further ado, let us read in details. And as you can see on your screen, I will be reading from a zoo newspaper known as The Nation. And according to their title, they say, Igboho Akintoye disown Oyo Yoruba Nation agitators. The leader of Yoruba Self-Determination Group, Professor Banji Akintoye, and Yoruba Nation activist Chief Sunday Adeyemo, aka Sunday Igboho, have distanced themselves from a group of agitators that invaded the Oyo State Government Secretariat, Agodi, Ibadan, on Saturday. The duo said they were not aware or in support of the agitators and their actions. Akintoye said those involved were not fighting for Yoruba interest but against the Yorubas in their conduct. We shall know what is the conduct of this man. He said available information indicated the group appointed an interim government for the Yoruba Nation and decided to take over the region from the Oyo State Secretariat, which informed the development of men in military camouflage. Prof. Akintoye said, I am not connected, I have no contact, and I do not know anything about Onitiri and her group. I don't know what they are doing. I learned they engage in some sort of insanity in Ibadan, but that is entirely there, and it has nothing to do with me or people like Chief Sunday Igboho who are working with me. We are the authentic Yoruba Nation movement. He said, we are the authentic Yoruba Nation movement. That very word, I will talk about it in a jiffy, so pay attention. We are not connected. We are the people fighting for the Yoruba Nation freedom, and we will win the war peacefully and in an orderly manner. Listen, I don't want to come back to this particular place. Let me address it once and for all. According to Prof. Banji Akintoye, he said that they are the authentic Yoruba movement or Yoruba Nation agitators. Let me say something very, very important, because like as I said, I don't want to analyze anything, but let me tell them, listen, You say you are the authentic Yoruba nation agitators. I don't have any problem about that, Professor Banji Akintoye, sir. I do not have any issues about that. But let me tell you one thing you must understand. One person, or one particular group of a people may not have what it takes to get a nation, especially here in Africa. I will come back to that when I will be telling you my 2 reasons why I'm making this very broadcast. And then he said again, without war, he said that they are going to win the war peacefully and in an orderly manner. My dear Professor Banji Akintoye, I am very, very certain you are going to listen to this very news, even though you don't, play it directly from your device. Somebody will send the link to you. That one, I am very, very 100% certain about it. Right now, let me tell you, in Africa, is a pity that as young as I am, I'm the one telling you this. And you are a professor and also an elderly person. Now, but I have to, it's my job, I have to tell you, sir. This is Africa. We do not understand, or we have not understood the real meaning of democracy. This is something I want everybody listening to me today to understand. We haven't come to terms. As African continent, we haven't come to terms with the true democracy, with that word democracy. We may know the meaning, but we haven't believed fully. We haven't fully believed in it. So no country in Africa under colonialism of the British and the French can give you freedom peacefully. No country. No, I said no country in Africa. Not even the most civilized country in Africa. Maybe you can talk about North African countries or maybe South Africa. No country in Africa can give you freedom peacefully. Because we do not understand the true meaning of democracy. We haven't understood it yet. So having said this, let me continue reading. Like as promised, I will give you my 2 reasons of making this very broadcast. They are not struggling for the Yoruba nation. They are struggling against the Yoruba nation. I am not aware of the situation that happened in Ibadan until I was informed by Chief Sunday Igboho this morning. I am not part of it. They are not from us. They are followers of Onitiri. It is a lunatic fringe. We in this struggle won't act in such a manner. Sunday Igboho said he will never be involved in such madness, noting that anytime he wants to engage in any struggle, he will always make it public and carry other stakeholders along. He said, I know nothing about it. I am not even aware of those behind it. If I am going to do anything, either for Eli or any struggle for Yoruba nation, we will inform people ahead. We understand. We will announce our plans and all our leaders and other stakeholders will also be involved and we will collaborate to do so. So anything they now do on their own, either they attack the government or military barrack or police station, I know nothing about it and I am not part of it. This one is from Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho. Now, what did they do? Let me show you how it all started. This is exactly what they did. I'm also reading this from the same nation's newspaper. They said, updated, operatives arrest more suspected Yoruba nation agitators in Oyo. Now, you can see this man trying to pull his, camouflage. According to the story, they said, operatives have arrested some suspected Yoruba nation agitators as they battle to restore normalcy after invasion of Oyo government secretariat Agodi Ibadan on Saturday. No fewer than 7 agitators in military camouflage have been arrested. In a video seen by The Nation on Saturday, while 3 of them were seated at the back seat of a police patrol van, 2 others who have sustained injuries were seen at the back of the van lying with blood stain. It could not be confirmed if the bloodstain was due to gunshot injuries. Two other agitators, including a woman, were being searched by operatives by the side of the police van, which is the picture that I showed you a couple of seconds ago. During the search, it was observed that almost all the arrested uniformed agitators had different charms and amulets on and around their bodies. As of the time of filing this report, the Oyo Police Command was yet to make any official statement on the development. It was gathered the agitators occupied and attempted to overwhelm security operatives at the Assembly Complex and Secretariat on Saturday morning. Eyewitnesses reported that the agitators arrived in an ash-colored Hiace bus and two motorcycles, which had been seized and taken to the state police headquarters. Listen, the gunmen reportedly headed straight to the House of Assembly premises, removing the national flag and replacing it with the Yoruba nation flag before security forces intervened. Now, let me say something very, very important. There is something they said here. They said the gunmen reportedly headed straight to the House of Assembly premises. The gunmen, meaning that these people were armed. That is what the Nation newspaper has told us here. The gunmen. But going by the picture that I showed you, these two people, you can see this person is wearing military camouflage. Even this one removing his clothes. If you look at the trouser here, as I'm showing you, just take a look at the trouser. You can see that this is military camouflage as well, meaning that they were on camouflage. Now, having laid these foundations, I want to say two things that made me, or that pushed me to make this very broadcast that I'm making right now. These two things. Number one is this: I want to talk to the agitators who came on military camouflage and are allegedly armed. Listen, if you know that you have come out, that you are ready to fight for your freedom, of course, you cannot fight with your bare hand. You can't be facing a terrorist military and police like the Nigerian military and police with a bare hand. You saw what they did to us before we decided to arm ourselves and defend ourselves and our land. You saw what they did to us. Millions of our youths were mauled in cold blood in different cities and villages of Biafra land. You all saw it. So I cannot advise you to face or to fight for your freedom without arms. It doesn't happen. Even in Europe, they fought. The last people that got freedom in Europe fought a war. Go and ask them in former Yugoslavia. They can tell you. Go to Serbia, go to Montenegro, go to Croatia. Ask them, they will tell you. I have the history. So you can't. Even in Europe, this I'm telling you is in 90s, just the other time. In 90s, they fought war for their freedom. Talk less of Africa. African did not easy. Blind people who do not understand what democracy is all about will give you freedom without a battle. It doesn't happen that way. Nowhere. Now, if you know that you are ready to fight for your freedom, as they said that you were armed, as they claimed, as the Nation newspaper claimed that you were armed, you must come out with a very fantastic strategy. This is my word to the so-called armed Yoruba Nation agitators. I support you 100%. I have been clamoring for that. I have been advising the Yorubas for that for more than 2 years now. So if you know you are serious, you are ready to arm yourself and defend your land, you must come out with strategy. Swallow your pride. Look for a way. Contact Biafrans. When I'm talking about Biafrans, you must contact the Biafra government, headed by Mazi Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister. Find a way. If you don't have people who can give you the best strategies, contact the Biafra Republic government in exile. So with that, you can be able to know how to strategize and move so you don't fall a victim like this. That is the first word I want to give the armed, or should I say the so-called armed Yoruba Nation agitators. Because if you have planned well with a very solid strategy, you couldn't have fallen into this type of victim, where they are now, ordinary ragtag zoo police is the one now mesmerizing. Now, the second reason for this broadcast is for me to tell Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho and Prof. Banji Akintoye and those who are following you and supporting you. I respect you a lot, both of you, especially Chief Sunday Igboho, because of my leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and his relationship with Mazi Simon Ekpa. I respect you so much. Now, my word to you and Prof. Banji Akintoye is that one person cannot give freedom to a nation. One person, no, they give freedom. The reason why they always single out one person, like Nnamdi Azikiwe, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Mazi Simon Ekpa, Nelson Mandela. The reason why they always single out one person, George Washington, all these people, Mahatma Gandhi and all of them, is because these are the people who stood tall, who came at the forefront, who were leading. They led the agitators, the fighters. That is the reason why, and they are the ones who pay the most biggest price. Go and check their history, both imprisonment and torture and all that. So that's why they always single them out, and they say they gave their people freedom because of what they did, but they couldn't have done it alone. So they are in them, pushing everything, doing everything they could to make sure that they succeed. Now, inside this last one, if you know that you are not in support of what these people are doing, and they are not with you, just stay on your lane and allow them to do their own. Listen, let me tell you this. When Nelson Mandela was in prison, there is another group that came up, and that group is called Umkhonto we Sizwe. I read the history. Ask them. If you have any South African friend, ask them, they will tell you. That group is actually the people who gave freedom to both South Africa and Nelson Mandela himself. They are called Umkhonto we Sizwe. They are the ones who fought, who engaged in armed struggle against the appetite in those days. They engaged the appetite army one-on-one, military to military, arm for an arm, eye for an eye. They fought the battle and they succeeded. Listen, they never in any way take any order or instruction from Nelson Mandela. Mandela even said that I don't know who they are. But let me tell you, all of them came out from ANC back then. They all defected. Let me just take it as a party. They were all members of ANC, but when they saw that this peaceful means can never work, their people are being mauled each and every day by the appetite, they decided to take up arms and defend themselves. So they have to pull out from ANC and form the group called Umkhonto we Sizwe. So meaning that if Banji Akintoye knows that name that he called there's another name that he called. That very name, if he, Banji Akintoye, knows that name, that person, he called it Onitiri, meaning that he knows them, meaning that these people have been working hand in hand with them, all of them, both Igboho and Akintoye. But maybe they are no longer satisfied with these peaceful means or whatever they are doing, and they know that these peaceful means can never in any way give them freedom or break up the zoo. They decided to go on armed struggle. So don't come out and start condemning them, talking ill against them, if you know that in their heart they are genuinely fighting for freedom. Not that a political idiot somewhere under the zoo have recruited some group of thugs, give them arms to go there, mount Oduduwa Nation flag in order to incriminate Sunday Igboho. If it's something like that, I personally will condemn it, because I hate the zoo politicians with passion. Yes, I hate the zoo politicians with passion. So I will condemn it. But if you know that they are genuinely fighting for their freedom, why do you have to come and condemn them and call them all sorts of names? There's another one. If I had read further, because it didn't end here, if I had read further, you would see somebody called them miscreant. Somebody came out and called them miscreant, but I don't have to because of my time. I don't have to continue reading. So these are my words to everybody listening to me right now from Oduduwa Nation. Thank you, my people. To salo numozia and make it go viral.
Ndị be anyị daalụ nne nụ ụmụ ife ka unu si wee na-esoro anyị n'ihe anyị na-eme. Anyị si n'ụbọchị nke taa mara na anyị mma o. Dịka anyị na-apụ n'ụbọchị nke taa, anyị si na ọ ya dịrị ncha anyị na mma. Ọ ya dịrị mma na eke, dịrị mma na orie, dịrị mma na afọ, dịkwazịrị mma na nkwọ. Ụzọ anyị anọ nke ndị Igbo ji bi na ọ ya dịrị anyị na mma. Otu anyị kwuru otu aka ọ ya dịrịrị. Ise ise ise. Dịka ị nụrụ ihe Biafran Prime Minister kwuru n'iru akwụkwọ dịgasị iche iche, ọzọ dịka ibe ya bụ ka ife nwere ikwu gbasịta maka ya bụ ife ndị a niile okwu gasị n'iru akwụkwọ. Drọpụọla ya on the comment below. Nke ọzọkwa bụ chetakwa na ihe a bụkwa Eastern News 24 ka anyị si wee na-echetala unu, wee na-ewetakwala unu ana wee na-ewetakwala unu ya bụ ọmalịcha ife na ọmalịcha ihe a dị oke mkpa n'ala Igbo. Daalụ na ụmụnne m, ngwanụ nke m.